So, types of excitation. So, depends upon the type of excitation and to the field winding, the DC machine classified into three categories. Okay, the machines which is with the permanent magnet, first classification. The second classification is separately excited and self-excited DC machines. Okay, in DC motor with permanent magnet are manufactured for small rating machines like toys and cassette tape and recorder. Okay, for the large rating of DC motor are designed with electromagnet, okay, electromagnetic field. So means a winding wounded and placed in the position of the starter of the motor. The field winding is placed on the field core and this winding is supplied with a DC current. So that DC current is called excitation. So depends upon the type of connection to the field winding. For the excitation, the DC motor can be classified into two categories. Those are separately excited DC motor and self-excited DC motors. So this is a separately excited DC motor. So motor means we are giving a electrical energy, so which build up the mechanical energy. So here it is the field winding. The field winding resistance is RF and it is separately excited with a separate source with the magnitude of VDC. So the current flowing through the field winding is IF. The EMF generated in the armature in the motor is called back EMF. It is denoted with the EB. So the RA denotes that armature resistance. The current flowing through the armature is called IA. So this is called armature current. So this complete gives idea about the separately excited DC motor. So the field winding is excited from a supply which is not connected to the armature winding. So it may be noted that the current flowing through the field winding is independent of the load. So that is equal to the current IF is equal to V upon RF. So where RF is denotes that the field circuit resistance, the flux produced by the field winding is directly proportional to the current flowing through it. So flux is direct proportional to the current flowing through the field winding. So mathematically written as phi is direct proportional to the field current. So this diagram shows that DC shunt motor. Here it is, the field winding is connected parallel to the armature of the DC motor. So this is the supply, V supply, here we are giving the supply. So this is the load current IL flowing through the load. The IA is the armature current IA. The EMF, the back EMF generated by the motor is EB. So this is RA, armature resistance. The current flowing through the field winding is IF. Okay. So at this point, at this node, the incoming current IA is equal to the outgoing current is equal to the incoming currents. With we using the KCL principle, Kirchhoff current law. The incoming current is equal to outgoing current at a node. So IA is equal to IA plus IF. Okay. So in this type of motor, the excitation and armature winding are connected across a constant supply source. So the field winding, so IF is drawn from the same source. Okay. So it is in the shown in the figure. The field current and armature current is supplied from the supply of the mains. So this is the diagram for the series DC motor. Series DC motor. So it is the self-excited motor. So it is a supply voltage. This is the load current IL. is the field resistance. The current flowing through the field resistance is ISE. The current flowing through the armature, that is IA. Armature resistance is RA. The back EMF developed by the motor is EB. So here it is armature and field resistance connected in series. So that's why it is called DC series motor. The current flowing through the armature and field winding is same. Why? Because they are connected in series. So we can say that IA is equal to ISC is equal to IL. So the field winding is connected in the series with the armature, so that IF is equal to IA is equal to IL. So therefore, the field winding is made up of a thick wire, less number of turns as compared to the shunt field winding, so that the armature current can flow through it without overheating. So in this case of a series motor, the flux is developed by the motor is direct proportional to the field current as well as the armature current. Okay, the relation between induced EMF and terminal voltage as shown as like this. So we can write a KVL equation in this loop. So minus V plus ISC into RSC plus RIA into RA. Okay. So this is the equation for the KVL equation for the DC motor. V is equal to E plus IA RA plus IA into RSC. Why IA I am using? The field current and armature current are both the same. That's why I am replacing with ISC with IA. So the back EMF developed by the motor is EB, that is EB is equal to V minus IA into RA plus RSC. So we all know that IA is equal to ISC is equal to IL. So this is the compound motor. So here it is, the field winding, shunt field winding and series field winding is separated as like this. So this diagram represents that it is a short shunt compound machine, a part of the shunt field winding connected parallel to the armature resistance. The current flow to the series field resistance is ISC. The current flowing to the armature is IA. The resistance offered by the armature is RA. The current flowing through the shunt field resistance is ISH. Okay. So there are two field windings, namely as a shunt field winding as well as a series field winding. Okay, the shunt field winding is connected in parallel with the armature, and series field winding is connected in series with the combination of this. So we can see this. So this is a shunt field winding. Shunt field winding is connected across the armature, and both the combination connected in series with the series field winding. So series field winding will carry a large armature current, that is IA or IL. So therefore it is made of a large cross sectional area. So it has few turns only. So the resistance of the series field winding is very small. Why? Because if the resistance is more, the more amount of energy dissipated in this resistance only. So that's why we are keeping the series field resistance is very small. The shunt field winding is made up of a wire of a small cross section area but high resistance. Since the resistance of the shunt field winding is high, the current flows through it is very small as compared to the series field winding. So armature current IL, that is. So the main field flux is produced by the shunt field current or winding, but it is modified by the field of a series winding, a compound machine. Therefore, the combination of the best feature of a DC shunt as well as a DC series machine. So depends upon the connection, a shunt field winding the combination of the armature and the series field winding, a DC compound generator can be named as a shunt, short shunt compound and long shunt compound. So we can clearly see that this is the short shunt compound. So for short shunt compound motor, so we can clearly see this in previous slide. The series field current is equal to our IL. So which is equal to the combination of shunt field current and armature current. So that's why I am writing here. So I am applying KVL to the machine. We get V is equal to E plus IA RA plus ISE into RSE. So V is equal to E plus IA RA. I am separating instead of IA plus ISH into RSE. So this is a long shunt compound motor. So here it is, series field winding and armature are connected in series. The entire combination is connected parallel to the shunt field winding. That's why it is called a long shunt type. So corresponding currents denoted here. So in this case, the shunt field winding is connected the combination of the armature as well as the series field winding. So with the help of figure, we can write as the series field current is equal to armature current as well as the load current is equal to the combination of armature current and shunt field current. We can see clearly the IL is the combination of ISE and ISH. Otherwise, another relationship is developed from the diagram. The current, the series field current ISE is same as that of IA, but because they are connected in series. So V is equal to E plus IARA plus ISE into RSE. So this equation written with the help of KVL in the circuit. So depends upon the direction of the flow and the current through the series current through series field, we can classify compounding action into two types. They are accumulating compound and a differential compound. So if the fluxes are adding a series field winding, series field flux and a shunt field flux are added, that motor is called cumulative compounding machine. If they are differ, means they are opposite, means total flux is equal to shunt field flux minus series field flux, means they are opposite each other. So that machine called is a differential compound. So in cumulative compound, the direction of the current in the series field winding in such that the magnetic field produced by innate the direction to that of the shunt fielding. So the total magnitude of the field is the sum of a shunt field and as well as the series field. So here it is a differential compound motor. So the two fluxes are opposite each other, so that's why it is called a differential compound motor. So the direction of the current in the series field winding and produced by the magnetic field, by it is opposite to that of a shunt field winding. So the total magnitude of the field is a difference of the shunt field flux and series field flux. So mathematically written as phi total flux is developed by the machine is equal to phi SS minus phi SE. So in the figure we can clearly see the series field winding. The series field winding current as like this. The shunt field current is as like this. So they are opposite each other. This is the current of the series field winding. This is the current direction for the shunt field winding. So the currents are opposite. That's why the flux developed by the individual windings also oppose each other. So now we will discuss about the few factors in order to develop the relationship with the torque and speed as well as the induced EMF. Okay, the expression for the back EMF is developed by the motor, that is EB or E. Actually, it is I have written E. Actually, it is EB. EB is equal to P phi Zn upon 60 into A. Okay, so this is the induced EMF or back EMF developed by the motor, as well as with the help of KVL we can write as E is equal to V minus IA RA. So mathematically these two equations are same. So equation 1 and equation 2 are same. So now I am equating. So comparing the both the equations, we can write as like this. So K into phi n is equal to V minus IA into RA. So now n is considered in the left side, remaining terms taken into right side. Okay. So where K is the constant, so proportional constant, which is equal to Pz upon 60 into A. So now the above expression for the speed can be, so we can clearly see the previous equation. The speed can be depends upon the voltage as well as the armature resistance and armature current as well as the flux developed by the machine. Okay, voltage, applied voltage and field flux as well as the resistance of the armature. So it is clear that the speed is directly proportional to the supply voltage. So if the voltage increases, the supply voltage increases, obviously the speed also increases and vice versa. The speed is inversely proportional to the flux produced by the field. Okay, so if the speed is increases, the flux is decreases. If the speed is decreases, the flux is increases. So this action takes place in the case of flux. So the important characters of the DC machine or DC motor. So the characteristics of any machine which helps to identify the application as well as give the proper machine to the particular application. So important characteristics of the DC motor. So those are the speed and armature current characteristics. First of all, second one is the torque and armature current characteristics. Third one is the speed and torque characteristics. So it is very much important to know the characteristics of mentioned above for the different type of motors, because it is enable the selection of a specific type of DC motor for specific applications. First of all, I am considering a DC shunt motor. So this is the diagrammatic representation of the DC shunt motor. So these are the speed and current characteristics. Observe it. So this is the ideal characteristics. This is the application characteristics. So here it is a full load. I am considering an x-axis armature current as a parameter. In the y-axis speed I am considering. So for DC motor, we already know the relationship is N is equal to V minus IA into RA upon K into phi. For the DC shunt motor, so we are connecting a supply, it is a fixed, as well as, so the field winding is connected to across the armature shown in the figure. So the flux is produced by the machine also constant. So that we can say that IF as well as the V both are constant. Okay. So but actually the practical is the air gap flux slightly reduced due to the effect of the armature reaction. So from the expression for the speed mentioned earlier, it is evident that the armature current IA increases, the speed will decreases by a small amount due to the increase in IA into RA. Okay. So this drop I'm considering and compared to the V and the speed versus armature characteristic as shown as like this. So this because of the drop between, so the drop in the armature resistance, that is Ia into Ra. So shunt motor is a constant speed motor, so that we can use it is as a driving of the shaft lines and latch conveyors. So these are the main applications for the DC shunt motor. So now I am drawing a torque armature current characteristics of the DC shunt motor. So torque is considering on the x-axis, sorry, y-axis. The armature considering in the x-axis. So as the armature current increases, the torque also increases. They are in the proportional manner. Okay. So with the help of this equation, we can conclude that the torque is proportional to Kt into phi into Ia. Here it is the armature current, only changeable parameter. The flux is constant for the shunt motor. Okay. So the torque is direct proportional to the armature current. So it is straight line and passes through the origin. And third characteristics of the DC shunt motor is speed and torque characteristics. So I am drawing a speed on the y-axis, a torque on the x-axis. So the relationship between the torque is Kt phi into Ia. The speed relation for the motor is V minus Ia into Ra upon K into phi. So the relationship between the torque speed drawn as like this. Okay, it is given in this. So they are slightly in the inverse relationship. So this bend depends upon the losses occurred in the armature, that is Ia into Ra. So now we are going to the second motor, that is the series motor. So this is a complete pictorial representation of the series motor. The speed and load characteristics is given as like this. So they are in inverse relation. So why it is inverse relation, we will discuss now. So from the expression of the speed, n is equal to V minus Ia into Ra upon K into phi. So it seems that speed is inverse proportional to the flux of the machine. Speed is inverse proportional to the flux of the machine. So they are in inverse relationship. So for a DC motor, magnetic flux is proportional to the Ia. Is it absolutely right? The flux is depends upon the armature current. So flux is directly proportional to the Ia. So if the voltage is constant, N is inverse proportional to the Ia, and now the speed and current characteristics like a rectangular hyperbola shown in figure. Okay, then it is in the nature of rectangular hyperbola. So the basic major important, it is a very low load, speed is dangerous high. Thus, if the DC series motor is allowed to run on very light load or no load condition, the speed will becomes very much higher than its rating voltage, rating speed. Okay, so which may cause the damage to the motor. So for this reason, DC series motor are never start on no load condition. Okay, and are not used in any application. Where there is a chance of load being completely removed, when that remains connected to a supply, the load on the DC series motor is connected through a gears and not through the belt pulley arrangement. So this is the reason in the case of a failure of the belt, the load will remove from the motor, thereby the motor will attain a dangerous high speed. Okay. So mostly cases we must take care of, the series motor will not run with the no load condition. So this is the torque and load characteristics. The current is considered, armature current is considered in the x-axis and the torque is considered on the y-axis. So this is the saturation point of the series field core. So we all derived already, torque equation is equal to T is equal to KT into phi into IA. Okay. The magnetic flux for a DC series motor is proportional to the armature current, that is IA. So this equation we can rewritten as like this. The flux is proportional to the armature current. So T is equal to KT into IA into IA. So we can clearly see that the torque is direct proportional to the armature current square, means T is direct proportional to the IA square. So the relationship between the torque and armature current is therefore that is in the parabolic nature. So with increase of IA, the field flux also increases linearly, but due to saturation of the core, beyond a certain point, IA increases in the flux. It is negligible, so that the torque is proportional to the square of armature current up to a saturation point. Beyond this point, the torque is varies with linear of armature current. Okay, so that's way after the saturation point of the torque and load characteristics, it shows a straight line. So it develops a very high starting torque, hence a DC series motor are used in high starting torque applications. So basically the series motors used in DC series motors used in electrical trains and hoists and trolleys. Okay. So these are the speed and torque characteristics. So they are in inverse relationship. So if the speed is increases, the torque is decreases. If the torque is increases, the speed is opposite that of the torque. So they are in the inverse relationship. From the characteristics shown in the slide, so it can be seen that the low speed, the torque is high. For a high speed, the torque is very small. That's why the DC series motor is widely used in traction applications, and where the motor is started on the bulky load and like electric locomotives. So this is the characteristic of the DC compound. So now it is this slide shows that complete picture diagram of the DC compound motor. So load, speed and load characteristics are like this. So this is the differential compound, this is the shunt motor, this is the cumulative motor. So in cumulative compound motor, the series field winding is connected in such a way that the shunt magnetic field produced by it helps to flux produced by the shunt field winding. Means series field winding and shunt field winding are adds. So overall the flux of the machine is increases. So the series field is direct proportional to the load current. Similar manner, therefore the total flux increase in the load current or armature current. So due to this, the series field winding in addition to the voltage drop in the armature winding. The speed of a DC motor is inverse to the total main flux, that is phi. Therefore, the speed drops more sharply as compared to the DC shunt motor. Sharps more compared to the shunt motor. Now move on to torque load characteristics of a compound motor. So we can compare with the shunt as well as the differential motors. So it is the compounding action, it is the shunt motor characteristics, this is the differential compound motor. So the torque is developed by the cumulative component. Motor increases with the sudden increase in the load at no load condition. So it has defined definite speed. So cumulative component motors are therefore suitable with the sudden application of heavy loads like shears, punches and roll mills. The speed of a differential compound motor remains more or less a constant. With increase in the load, but its torque decreases with the load. Since the DC shunt motor develops a good torque as well as the speed, not vary the appropriately with the increase in the load. Differential compound motors are not preferred over the DC shunt motor, hence it rarely used. So DC shunt motors where the constant speed is required. The DC series motors we are using for initial torque is heavy load conditions only. Speed torque characteristics of the differential component and cumulative component as given as like this. So applications. So coming to the application, so DC shunt motors are having the constant speed so that where the speed has to be maintained approximately constant from the no load to full load application. Okay. So series motors actually used in hoists, cranes and trains. So in these cases, large starting torque is required. They are also used where the motor can be permanently coupled to the load. Okay, so these motors used where the initial torque and starting torque is very high.